and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Make some noise! Radio. Okay!
Is it say the diplomat?
Come on!
Johnny gun him down, Bonnie. Gunning him down all day, every day on Blast Radio. G Crucial in the motherfucking building. Blast Radio.
Your Jimmy rode from Texas to Tennessee to buy one of my nigger gowns? No appointment, no nothing.
Oh, I'm afraid so.
Well, what if I was to say I don't like you, or you fancy pants nigger, and I wouldn't sell you a tinker's damn? Now, what you got to say about that?
Mr. Bennett, if you are the businessman I've been led to believe you to be, I have 5,000 things I might say that could change your mind.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
Or maybe, while we discuss business, you could provide one of your loveliest black creatures to escort Django here around your magnificent grounds.
Oh, well, absolutely. Bettina.
Yes, sir, Big Dad.
What's your Jimmy's name again?
Django.
Django. Bettina Sugar, could you take Django there and take him around the grounds here and show him all the pretty stuff?
As you please, Big Dad.
Oh, Mr. Bennett, I must remind you, Django is a free man. He cannot be treated like a slave. Within the bounds of good taste, he must be treated as an extension of myself.
Understood, Schultz. Bettina Sugar?
Yes, sir.
Django isn't a slave. Django is a free man, you understand? You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here. You got it?
You want I should treat him like white folks?
No. That's not what I said.
Then I don't know what you want, Big Daddy.
Yes, I can see that. What's the name of that Peckerwood boy from town that works with the glass? His mama work over at the lumber yard.
Oh, you mean Jerry?
That's the boy named Jerry. You know Jerry, don't you, Sugar?
Yes, sir, Big Daddy.
Well, that's it then. You just treat him like you would Jerry.
Welcome back for Final Thoughts. Well, the B.E.T. Awards were last night. Notably, they were very black. Oh, but can I say that? What with my whiteness and all? Well, too damn bad. Question, was this a celebration of black entertainment or an opportunity to complain about the plight of wealthy black actors and musicians? Curious, because I saw a lot of talent on that stage, but at the same time, a whole lot of victimhood. Oh, and police bashing, that too. Meet Grey's Anatomy actor Jesse Williams. He won the Humanitarian Award last night, which means the B.E.T. definition of humanitarian is someone who perpetuates a war on cops.
What we've been doing is looking at the data, and we know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television and then going home to make a sandwich.
Killing someone in broad daylight and then going home to make a sandwich? Are you kidding me, Jesse? Know what else is interesting, bud? Though the term unarmed black man may be literally accurate, it doesn't tell the whole story in most cases. In a number of cases, if the victim ended up being unarmed, it was certainly not for lack of trying. Grabbing an officer's gun or using other equipment to beat the police doesn't give you a free pass. Oh, but heaven forbid someone be critical of this movement.
If you have a critique for the resistance, for our resistance, then you better have an established record of critique of our oppression. If you have no interest in equal rights for black people, then do not make suggestions to those who do. Sit down.
Equal rights. Please tell me, Mr. Williams, what rights black people don't have. Also, white people, yeah, we do have a record of critique of your oppression. In fact, do you know how many of our ancestors fought in the Civil War to free your ancestors? bloodiest war in the United States history was over what was right, and it was largely white people fighting it. In fact, it was white Southern Democrats who fought for, not against, slavery. Oh, but speaking of privilege, let's listen to this high-paid television actor tell us just how bad he has it.
We've been floating this country on credit for centuries, yo. And we're done watching and waiting while this invention called whiteness uses and abuses us, burying black people out of sight and out of mind while extracting our culture, our dollars, our entertainment like oil, black gold, ghettoizing and demeaning our creations, then stealing them, gentrifying our genius, and then trying us on like costumes before discarding our bodies like rinds of strange fruit.
I'm sorry, Jesse, but I won't be apologizing for my whiteness, just as you don't need to apologize for your blackness. It's not white people working to divide America. It's you. You and Beyonce and Jada Pinkett Smith and Al Sharpton. Do you see yourself as a victim? If so, I feel sorry for you. For someone who wants equal rights, it sure sounds like you prefer special treatment. It sure sounds like you'd like a gold star at the end of the day just for being born. Get over yourself. You're not a humanitarian. You're not a unifier. You're not teaching black children to go forth and conquer. You're teaching them to feel sorry for themselves. Nice work, and how about you sit down? Those are my final thoughts. God bless, and take care.
Yes, this is your boy T. Crucial in the house.
This is Johnny Gun 'em Down, Bonnie.
Say the diplomat.
And we are
Blast Radio.
Powered by www.sickness.net.
Hello, listeners. Tonight we have a special guest with us. Thank you for coming to the set, Lance Reese. Welcome.
You're welcome, bro. Yep.
That's good. Yeah, we got Lance speaking today. This is our special guest speaker. But what you had heard earlier was a woman named Tommy Lauren. She has a radio show, and she was upset about the speech that Jesse Williams gave on the B.E.T. Awards. In fact, I think it was a very uplifting, positive speech, and he woke up our generation. I would say he set a spark in the minds of our generation, and I feel like she was offended by that. But we're never offended when they have their rallies and, you know, their little things where they speak about white power and their little marches. We don't interfere with those things. You don't hear black people coming on TV shows the next day blasting them for what they're doing. You know, so that's what shows anytime someone empowers our people or speaks on something positive, this shows you the effect. They're so afraid. It shows their fear. To me, that shows fear. Because why do you have to speak on something you're not afraid of? I don't speak on things I'm not afraid of. You know, so, and she just attacked that man for speaking up for people.
Yeah, I mean, small minds always do that. I mean, if the speech wasn't empowering or productive, then she wouldn't have been so angry. She wouldn't have had something to say. You know, that goes to show that what he was saying was truth and what he was saying was positive. You gotta think about it. If everybody liked it, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So you knew that he was gonna have a backlash. You knew there was gonna be a negative force just waiting to, you know what I'm saying, speak their piece. Not peace, but speak their minds. So I mean, that's gonna come. That comes with the territory. People like her, man. I just blow them off, man. I don't even pay them any mind because they're counterproductive. They're not trying to do anything positive. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to keep things the way they are. They on that shh, don't talk about it. Oh yeah, we did that, but we don't need to talk about it anymore. No, we need to talk about it. Somebody got to start saying something. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, and I applaud Jesse Williams for actually taking the leap of faith and discussing the things that he felt true about in his heart. And I just like the fact that it took the B.E.T. showcase in a whole different direction, and I really see a lot more positivity coming out from when he spoke because it kind of sparked the flame. You know, a lot of people stood up and the reactions were very positive, so I just see B.E.T. heading in a better direction with his speech, and I hope that they actually grab hold of what he says and turn it into something that'll be beautiful for the black people.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna play Jesse's speech right now because we played her speech first. I wanted y'all to hear and see how they think about us. and how they try to play mind games with us whenever we try to empower each other. And then we'll be back with Mr. Lance Reese to give y'all some serious Black history information. So please stay tuned and listen. And we are Blast Radio, powered by www.sickness.net.
Peace. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, B.E.T. Thank you, Nate Parker, Harry, and Debbie Allen for participating in that. Before we get into it, I just want to say, I brought my parents out tonight. I just want to thank them for being here, for teaching me to focus on comprehension over career, that they make sure I learn what the schools were afraid to teach us, and also to thank my amazing wife for changing my life. Now, this award, this is not for me. This is for the real organizers all over the country, the activists, the civil rights attorneys, the struggling parents, the families, the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide and impoverish and destroy us cannot stand if we do. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics. The more we learn about who we are and how we got here, the more we will mobilize. Now, this is also in particular for the Black women, in particular, who have spent their lifetimes dedicated to nurturing everyone before themselves. We can and will do better for you. Now, what we've been doing is looking at the data, and we know that police somehow manage to de-escalate, disarm, and not kill white people every day. So what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. Now, I got more, y'all. Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television, and then going home to make a sandwich. Tell Rakia Boyd how it's so much better to live in 2012 than it is to live in 1612 or 1712. Tell that to Eric Garner. Tell that to Sandra Bland. Tell that to Dorian Hunt. Now the thing is, though, all of us in here getting money, that alone isn't going to stop this. All right? Now, dedicating our lives to getting money just to give it right back for someone's brand on our body, when we spent centuries praying with brands on our bodies, and now we pray to get paid for brands on our bodies. There has been no war that we have not fought and died on the front lines of. There has been no job we haven't done. There's no tax they haven't levied against us, and we've paid all of them. But freedom is somehow always conditional here. You're free, they keep telling us. But she would have been alive if she hadn't acted so free. Now, freedom is always coming in the hereafter. But you know what, though? The hereafter is a hustle. We want it now. And let's get a couple things straight. Just a little side note. The burden of the brutalized is not to comfort the bystander. That's not our job. All right, stop with all that. If you have a critique for the resistance, for our resistance, then you better have an established record of critique of our oppression. If you have no interest in equal rights for Black people, then do not make suggestions to those who do. Sit down. We've been floating this country on credit for centuries, yo. And we're done watching and waiting while this invention called whiteness uses and abuses us, burying Black people out of sight and out of mind while extracting our culture, our dollars, our entertainment like oil, black gold, ghettoizing and demeaning our creations, then stealing them, gentrifying our genius, and then trying us on like costumes before discarding our bodies like rinds of strange fruit. The thing is, though, The thing is that just because we're magic doesn't mean we're not real. Thank you.
All right. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Blast Radio.
Yeah.
What we just listened to was the speech of Jesse Williams from the BET Awards 2016.
Yes.
Again, we have our special guest, Mr. Lance Reese, in the house.
Yeah.
All right.
In today's show, we're going to be highlighting slavery's effect on today's society. That's going to be our show today. So definitely stay tuned in.
Yes.
All right.
We're going to let Mr. Lance Reese take us from here.
Yeah. What's up? Blast Radio.
What's good, brother?
So my take on this slave mentality that we are having today is basically simple. You know, it's either you have knowledge or ignorance.
Right.
So I think that what we are seeing right now, and for the most part, it's a lot of ignorance.
True. Right.
So we can pinpoint this knowledge, ignorance. We could take this back to the beginning of time, because the whole, state of, what we have been in, those two elements definitely plays the part. So having the knowledge of what's going on will make you a master. Master whatever is going on. And people talk about, open up a business and doing things and bettering your community and things like that. And that goes to show that if you master, you own something, that puts you in another category right there by itself. Versus if you just waiting for something to happen and you just waiting for things and be told what to do next, well, that automatically puts you like in a slave type of mentality.
Right. Amen, bro.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about the slavery history? What is your take on slavery?
The slave trade and all that stuff.
You mean sex trade? Because pretty much that's what I call it, and that's how I look at it. And I know a lot of people don't, look at it like that.
Wow. So give us the understanding. Why do you call the slave trade the sex trade? Why did you just change the name like that?
Because when you really look at it, and I know a lot of people complain about things that happened and what was going on, but when you really look at what was really going on, and I took time to look at things, and I took time to kind of research things, I was noticing that master, whatever you want to call him, most of the time, will go in and take the woman, rape our women, and do things like that. And that was being more of the pattern of the slavery thing that was happening. So I just started looking at it from a perspective is that the pattern that was really going on during slavery? Is that really what it really was about? Was it really sex crimes? Was it really, taking our women, raping them, doing everything you can think of, and then selling them, and just, using that as the cover up? Okay, we need slaves to go in the field. We need slaves to pick the cotton, whatever. But what was really underneath happening, and behind the scenes, and what was really going on? So I just started looking at it was it really just about the slave trade? So
I agree, man, because it was also the perversion too. The younger slave boys, man, were probably being sold to these sick, pedophiles, and then you have the men that were being sold to certain slave masters who want them to have sex with their wives just for entertainment, right, or have sex with women in front of them. The porn back then was that was kind of like the porn back then. So it makes a lot of sense what you said, brother, because that was very true, man. You know, they did do a lot of that did go on. I think more of that went on than, you know, getting them to, you know, buy slaves for the work in the fields and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot, you know, they were interested in the way our bodies were built and, you know, stuff like that, man. They were just captivated and, you know, they was, you know, caught up in that.
It's the same as now, man. You know, everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Everything has a decoy.
Exactly.
You know, to what they really got going on, and like you said, they took the men and sold the men away from the women so that they could control the women and monopolize the women in their minds. And they're doing the same thing today. They're stripping the men from the families and they're controlling these women with this money.
That's just really crazy that he's called it the sex trade, not the slave trade. I don't think a lot of people think of it in that content. And why do you think that may be?
Well, like I was saying before, you know, just look at what happened. You know, the things that took place, you know, and like you touched on, you know, they was taking out women, selling them, getting the men out the way, doing perverted things. So I'm just looking at what's in front of me. I'm not going by just what everybody been telling me, just what the history been saying it was and so forth. I'm looking at the actual events that actually was happening. And I'm pulling from that.
True.
Yeah, like even in the wars, as we had spoke earlier, and you were stating that they even have the same patterns in the wars. When they go to take the land from people and they take away from people, they also rape their women.
I mean, right now in Africa, if you think about it, I mean, they experiencing the same type of things now within their own country. Like, you know, they're going over other countries in Africa itself will just, you know, go into another country or village and rape the women, take them and do whatever they want. So they actually even doing it right now in Africa. And then these other, you know, war crimes or what's happening in the world, the same thing is happening. Women is being raped, women is being, you know, taken advantage of, the children. So I mean, this pattern seems to be going on and call different names, you know, whatever you want to call it, but it seemed like the same patterns are happening, and it's been happening since the beginning of time. And we get caught up in the wording, but we forget about what's actually happening, and we need to take a closer look at what's actually happening.
Right. And if you look at it, man, it's still going on to today. Right. You know, they sell us. You know, they're selling sex. They're selling, you know, just like we was talking about the love and hip hop thing, and I was like, every season they got a girl with a bigger butt, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Or, you know, they showing guys, guys, with the genitalia and all that. They so captivated by that, and you know what I mean, how black men are well endowed and all this stuff like that. And that's all like this big thing when it comes to that stuff, man. When it comes to that reality TV, you know, as far as the black television shows, man, it's like that's the meat of the whole show. You know, how big a girl's butt is or how big a guy's genitalia is, and they get caught up all in it, and they're selling that to us. And our young kids are getting so caught up in it, and that all they do is breathe and talk sex, and you know, it's just sad.
Yeah. And I want to take it to an even deeper level too, and say that, okay, yes, they are doing that, they are, you know, selling our bodies and everything, but I want everybody to understand that, you know, how powerful sex is. You know, a lot of people don't look at that as being, you know, it's kind of like an undertone, but it's very powerful. And doing it and using it, you know, and not in the right way, you know, it has great consequences. So pretty much, if you use sex, you know, just for a bodily experience and function, well, right then and there, you can become the slave of your own body. And see, that's the thing about it, is that sex, you know, it's a form of slavery within yourself.
Wow. I heard you speaking earlier about your vow to stay celibate until marriage. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because I commend you out there, first and foremost. You know, that takes a lot of power and strength. You know, and that's very honorable, man. I really look up to that, man. That's real talk, Lance. I think that's very strong, man. That's what I think something I might need to do. I'm working on it, you know. But you know, all jokes aside, I think that's very powerful, man. I think that's something that takes a lot of strength and will, man. I commend you on that. But could you elaborate on why you chose to make?
I mean, to be celibate, to go in that way, is basically, you know, more deeper, on spiritual level. And you know, we're talking about today's topic, you know, master and the slave mentality. So I just feel like we're saying, you know, sex is really powerful. So, you know, I didn't want to be a slave of my own self, you know.
There you go.
So I feel like, you know, going deeper into spiritualness and understanding, you know, the mind, the body, I think it put me in a better, you know, state to find out more about this whole master and slave mentality that we've been talking about. And I think we can, and I think myself, you know, can benefit from right now taking that step and just learning from it. You know, it's a learning experience.
I know that was a little off topic, but I felt it was very important because it's basically what we're talking about, you know, as far as the mentality of the man to be slave to himself. You know, and that comes from, it's like he was saying, all this stuff is just like in the same line. It all is pieces of that one puzzle, you know what I mean? That you were talking about as far as the sex trade and all this stuff. Very deep brother, man. Very deep brother, man. I like where this is going.
Yeah, so right now, we have a few speeches from some brothers who spoke on the slavery movies that they're bringing out. Like, you know, you got a lot of slave TV shows now, a lot of new movies they coming out. They had the 27 slave. What the hell is the name of that? What's the name of that movie?
12 Years of Slavery.
12 Years of Slavery. Yeah. They had the Django.
The biggest one was the Django.
No, I watched the movie. I just didn't remember the name of the movie. They got the new roots they trying to come up with, and I got a speech right now from Snoop Dogg. You know, they got a little frustrated with the brother because Snoop spoke up for our people. You know, Snoop like, I'm tired of that. Tired of that shit.
They're making money off. They haven't given us. They haven't. What's it called? They were supposed to give us a long time ago. Was it reprobation? What was it called? Supposed to give us what they were supposed to give us money for
40 acres of the mule.
Yeah. What was it called? That was called
reparation.
Reparation. Okay, they never gave us shit, but they're steadily making money off of slavery. They want us not to talk about it. Oh, we didn't do this. Oh, get over it. How we gonna get over it when you got a movie coming out every year that you're making millions of dollars off, talking about our misery and our agony and our this disgrace. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, actually, I think they're trying to install the fear again. That's my main thing. I think they just want to keep that fear, and they want to keep that in place so that we stay calm.
I think a lot of it has to do with they want us to see it so that we can act like a fool, so they can say, okay, well, this is the reason that you were enslaved. This is the reason why we are enslaving you, because you're enslaving yourselves. You're getting mad at this that this happened, and you're not trying to change it, except you're making your lives worse.
I think it's that they continue to show us that they have power. Look how we had you.
Exactly.
This is all you are. This is all you really are. You know what I mean? Look back at what your history is, and that's not our history. But they make us believe that. But the people that don't, like you said, don't have knowledge, think that that's their history. And they make sure they keep pushing that, keep pumping that into the ignorant mind.
But one thing, too, you got to look at, where is this knowledge? Where do we find this knowledge? We keep searching outside of ourselves, looking for it, finding it. Most, knowledge that we could possibly have is inside of ourselves. Understanding.
And that's true. And that's why the media is so powerful, because a lot of people do not do the research. We don't do the research, and we look for answers on the TV. We look for answers in the media. We look for answers in these movies to tell us what our worth is.
Okay, so we're going to go to Snoop Dogg's speech, like I said, and a few other speeches, and we'll be back with Mr. Lance Reese with more. Stay tuned. We are Blast Radio, powered by www.sickness.net.
No disrespect, but I can't watch no motherfucking more black movies where niggas getting dogged out, 12 years a slave, Roots, Underground. I can't watch none of that shit. I'm sick of this shit. How the fuck they gonna put Roots on Memorial Day? They gonna just keep beating that shit in our heads of how they did us, huh? I mean, I don't understand America. They just want to just keep showing the abuse that we took hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But guess what? We taking the same abuse. Think about that part. When y'all gonna make a motherfucking series about the success that black folks is having? The only success we have is roots and 12 years a slave and shit like that, huh? Fuck y'all, I ain't watching that shit. And I advise you motherfuckers that's real niggas like myself, fuck them television shows. Let's create our own shit based on the day. How we live and how we inspire people today. Black is what's real. Fuck that old shit. Right, Jules?
Hey, it's your boy Big Steve, the Ghetto Trophy. What I got to say about all these slave movies, why do they keep showing us slave movies? We know where we come from. We trying to see rich movies. We trying to get rich. We don't need to see nobody owning us. We trying to show us owning us. That's what I got to say about slave movies. That's me, Big Steve, the Ghetto Trophy. Hey.
Ownership is not important. Ownership is a must. I was on a first class flight with one of the top executives at Xerox. He said something that was real powerful because we kept talking and we, sort of got a kinsmanship while we were on that long flight. And he said, David Banner, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. He said, I just met you. There's only two types of people on this earth. He said, slaves and slave masters. And the revolutionary in me, I wanted to get mad. I was like, this white dude, like, what you talking about, homeboy? But I've been learning to remove my ego, and I thought about it. He said, well, you can be a slave owner that releases the slaves and create other slave owners. He said, but either you are working or you're thinking. Which one are you gonna do? You have to make that choice. And that hit me like, damn. In order for our people to truly be free, we're gonna have to have some ownership. We're gonna have to own our own existence. And that's exactly what I was telling you about. It's similar to what I was telling people about the word nigga. Everybody wanna flip the word nigga. If gods create, slaves deal with it. Slaves have to flip stuff and just make do. You don't have to make do. You can be creative and you can create your own situation. So I looked at it, I was like, yo, even from a political standpoint, if we own stuff, we wouldn't have to worry about people giving us jobs. We wouldn't have to worry about discrimination. We wouldn't have to worry about boycotting. Like I keep telling people, fuck boycotting. Just go get your own shit. Stop being mad. They keep telling you they don't want you in their clothes. They don't want you in their establishment. Just go and get your own shit. It don't even have to be racially motivated. You don't want to be free? So like for me, we can employ our own people. We can have better products and better situations if we own our own content. Perfect example, movies. I was telling the brother today, like with my Walking with God series, the short movie that I put up on YouTube. I love comic books and superheroes. I saw you had Batman, Bad Blood over there. I just got the Justice League versus the Teen Titans. And Damian, who is the new Robin, is the shit, by the way. I always wanted to be a superhero because I realized, most people think God is white. And then Superman is white, Batman is white, Spider-Man is white, Wonder Woman is white. All the things that our kids want to be looks like the people who oppressed us. That would make it easier for them to kill each other too, because you don't look like Superman. So I said, instead of waiting on somebody to see that I'm worthy of that, just create my own. And like in the next episode, he's gonna fly. So imagine what that does, not just from a business perspective, but from a mental perspective for a little black kid to see somebody that they love fly. Oh shit, that's dope. Even from a business perspective, if you look at me, my multimedia company, I created a multimedia company that's literally competing in a world where you don't see too many black people. You don't see too many black people flourishing in advertisement, not at the level that I've been able to do it. literally, I say this and people get mad when I say this. They said, you know, how can I learn to be a businessman and run my own business? I said, open the doors and make some fucking mistakes. Losing money will teach your ass how not to do it again. And it's really not hard. They put the stigmatism on owning, and it's so hard. It's not. Just start. And what's funny about rappers that I never got, it's like the album me and Ninth Wonder did. I'm just gonna be real. I paid 6 figures on the album. I ain't get my money back. People said they wanted hip hop. I said I wasn't gonna, beg no label to support real hip hop. If I want it, I'ma pay for it. Regardless of how much money I spent on the Ninth Wonder situation, I'm my own boss. And sometimes that feeling of just being free, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. The only people that I have to serve to are my people and are to my fans. And I want to look at the camera and say this: if I had you, I wouldn't need them. If we really supported our own community at the rate that Black people spend money, especially, as much as we are consumers, we don't export just about anything. All we do is consume. But once we get it right, and again, once we change the mentality of our people, we all right.
Oh, look at the spy brain on the jet. What? You're like a chocolate Google. Boop, 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 boop. Don't do it.
Radio. Welcome back to Blast Radio.
Welcome back.
Again, it's your girl Shay the Diplomat.
I'm Johnny Gun 'em Down Bonnie.
And I'm T Crucial. And we are
Blast Radio.
Powered by www.sickness.net.
We again have our guest host with us today, Mr. Lance Reese.
In the building.
Yeah. What's good?
And our topic today is the effects of slavery on today's society. So far, we have heard a couple of dialogue from some celebrities, Mr. David Banner and Snoop Dogg himself.
Also Big Steve from Virginia.
Yeah, shout out to Big Steve. Ghetto Trophy, definitely holding it down in the 757.
Alrighty.
But the topic today pretty much has been going strong. I mean, I definitely love the fact that a lot more people are being in tune to what we need to change the turnaround on the country's perception of the Black people, or the Black people as a whole. We definitely need to wake up and tune in and listen to what others are discussing, because these conversations are not going on everywhere. We're discussing it now because there's a time for a change. There's a need for more Black empowerment.
Yes.
As a whole.
Well, I wouldn't even, not only Blacks, people that are close to Blacks. It's just people in general that feel like they've been under the same type of conditions.
So pretty much the minorities.
Yeah, the minorities in America, pretty much. It's a slavery to all of us.
Yeah.
To all of them.
Without awareness, they're careless. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem, man. No awareness, no knowledge of self, man. Like Lance was saying, we got to start looking inside ourselves. And first of all, to get started, to get awareness, to get knowledge, you got to be willing to ask questions, man. You got to look inside yourself and find out and see that thing that's in you that don't sit right, and say, I want to ask some questions about that. I want to know about this. Yo, teacher, can you explain this to me? Why this was this? Why this is that? Can I get a truthful answer, teacher? Preacher, can you explain this to me? Can I get a truthful answer, preacher? You know what I'm saying? We got to start doing that. Because kids got to know that we really got to start learning, man. Learn about our true history. Because slavery is not our history. We were just talking about this before the break, during the break. Slavery is not our history.
It sure is.
You know what I'm saying? That's just something. That's just a tribulation, a trial that our people went through when they were captive and brought over here. We come from dynasties, from kings and queens. We're the first civilization. We're the first ones to do mathematics. We're the first one to have a sanitation. We're the first one, to build and architect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It was just a lot of our kids don't even know that. You know what I mean? And that's why they don't have that power.
I mean, to be honest, man, I just feel like the kids today, they just don't care. They don't care about our ancestors. They don't care about the future of their children. I mean, because if you did care about the future of your children, would you be out here being such a idiot ass?
No way.
Running the streets, man, you know? So what's your take on that, Brother Lance?
You know, basically it goes back to what Bonnie was just saying about, you know, knowledge and learning. And a lot of things that we're trying to learn, we don't have the knowledge of. You know, there's a lot of things that is not being taught. There's a lot of things that's not being discussed. And, you know, that puts us back into that ignorant slave mentality, because knowledge, I know, as everyone knows, is power. So without having that knowledge, without being taught correctly, automatically puts us in that mentality of that slavery ordeal.
Right.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Right now, we're going to take y'all into a speech you got on the brother Dick Gregory, man. I love Dick Gregory because he be getting in their ass, man. He let them know where it's at, man. It was real. And it's a few minutes, but I would like for y'all to really, you know, listen and take heed to the different, you know, things that he touched to give you an understanding of what's going on, even the political things that's going on right now. And this is Blast Radio, powered by www.sickness.net.
Blast Radio. Let's talk about the election. You know, as we speak today, it's down to Hillary, Bernie, and Trump.
Yeah, but see, you're talking to the wrong person. I never believed there was going to be an election this year, and it's not. Trump ain't got no money. Trump ain't never had no money. They talk about his daddy. You ever seen a picture of his daddy? You ever seen anybody write a story about his daddy?
No. I mean, they got his money from his dad, yeah.
I didn't ask you that. See, you keep talking to me. I don't want to hear. I asked you, have you ever seen a picture of his daddy?
No, I have not.
Have you ever heard a story about his daddy? And that don't bother you? Huh? That don't bother you? And so much of us out here been talking and shit. His sister had to hold a press conference. No, he didn't give him no $100 million. He gave him $1 million. I wonder why he didn't give me none. Huh? You know? See, if you're getting in this here and you're gonna call, cause you're gonna move to people more powerful than me. I ain't gonna talk to you if you don't know nothing. The fuck I'm gonna talk to you about money if you ain't got none? That's what this shit is about. That's how NBC and ABC, that's why I look at them. Not that I believe them, they got $1 trillion industry to do the research and I can pick it apart. That's simple.
So, I know you don't expect there to be an election, but did you think Trump would get as far as he has?
I didn't know who it was. Huh? Look, let me show you something here. Let me show you the shit that I know. It's the Wall Street Journal. It's one of the most powerful papers in the world. Don't mean it's no good. What's the date? Now, hold it 1 minute. Hold it. Hold it. I ran for president 1968. The election was Tuesday, November the 4th. This story ran Friday, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Now, what's the date on that? What paper is that?
Wall Street Journal, November 7th, 1968. Page
Headlines.
6. Election computer goofs gives Gregory 9 million votes.
That's why you can't talk to me. I got too much information. I got 9 million votes in the state of Pennsylvania. Huh? Okay? That's what fasting do. Huh? Now read the first paragraph.
Some machines just aren't to be believed. Take the big computer in New York that was designed to compile results of Tuesday's general election.
All elections are tabulated in New York City. Go ahead.
At one point early yesterday morning, the machine was crediting Dick Gregory, the comedian turned presidential candidate, with 9 million votes in Pennsylvania.
Now, here's what happened. The energy took over, the computers, and they had to shut them down because it projected me as president-elect of the United States. And they couldn't change it. Because they couldn't change the numbers. 9 million votes in one state. I know what it was. They went in there and tricked the machine for Nixon, but somebody put it on wrong and they gave it to me. So I'm going in the election and know all this bullshit y'all read. It ain't true. They did it just like they did that. Huh? Just like they did that.
Yeah. The one time Trump lost, he said it was rigged. The few weeks ago.
First, there's two Trumps.
Okay.
The one in the red tie is the real one. The one in the blue tie is not. The one you saw last night after the victory was the blue tie. Now, if you would punch up Dr. Carson, Ben Carson, when Trump called him a pedophile, and the next day he joined Trump, and the guy asked him, see, every now and then you slip and say so. He said, why'd you do that? He said, it's two Trumps. I was with the good one. You see it there. Just punch up. When somebody interviewed him, he said, there's two Donald Trumps. That's easy to pull up.
Okay. I was Googling Ben Carson pedophile. I was Googling the wrong thing.
No, he called him that the day before. So you know he got something on him if he's going to make him the next day say, I join you.
Dr. Ben Carson, there are two Donald Trumps.
There it is. Oh, you can read the rest of that later.
Okay, it's right there.
Okay.
So.
But now, why are we talking about that? Are you aware that made him world renowned? Carter, what he did.
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. You know how he got world renowned?
He separated the twins.
Head twins.
The brain. Yeah, from the brain. He separated
Siamese twins.
Siamese twins.
He wasn't even in the room when that happened. Wasn't in the room. He's been campaigning for 8 months. Have you ever heard him mention it?
No.
Everybody else mentioned everything they did with a pus, right? If what they said he did was true, then the question we need to ask, how come he's never been nominated for a Nobel Prize? Didn't say get one. The nomination. He's never been nominated for a Nobel Prize in medicine. See how the thinking, when the thinking hits? And when he said at the president's prayer breakfast, compared Obama, what do you call it, the insurance? Obamacare.
Obamacare, yeah.
Is worse than slavery, remember that? He was fired by the time he got back to Johns Hopkins. They'd already paid him for 2 weeks later to do the commencement. They said, keep the money. You better not be caught on this campus again.
So the two Donald Trumps, Bernie. Bernie Sanders. So.
I didn't know that much about Bernie other than he come from a place where there ain't no black folks. So I just assumed he's CIA. You know, you can't do what he's doing across the country and nobody know you. But I got the experience of the Beatles, how they can manipulate crowds. Young folks, okay? That's how I'm telling you, compound stuff with the stuff you know. And you do that by shutting up and listening. Huh? Wow. And so, Hillary, they can take her down anytime they want her. Put her in jail. And she don't have to do nothing. That's how they do it. You saw the pictures of Monica. They can have a picture with her screwing a gorilla. They have that technology now. ISIS, I mean, you stupid enough to believe with trillions of dollars, satellites, we didn't see him putting the military in? He's us. trained by General Petraeus. And every time we overrun his lines, he ain't got nothing but American equipment. You know, it's a game. The mightiest military in the history of the planet, and these white folk, they bomb him every day and they can't, come on.
So, I mean, well, what does it say about the country this election, that somebody like Trump would even be the prime candidate?
I'm not even gonna answer. See, you take it to someplace else. Huh? You answer it. I just told you. Huh? I said so-and-so is a man in a dress. What color dress he gonna wear next week? That's your shit. Okay. You getting into gossip now. Okay. The people I talk to know who I am. They wouldn't even ask me a question like that. Because if I know that, they know I know something else they don't know. Motherfucker asked me, he said, I saw the article. He said, Trump is gay. How'd you know? Because he ain't never bashed gays. Talk about Jesus, you know, the Pope. You use some of that shit on your own. Huh? And then you see it. Huh? It's simple.
Okay.
This here is, no, hold that 1 minute.
Keep this one?
No, just read, that's the one about, read the first paragraph again.
Well, we did it, but...
Up top, first paragraph.
Some inaccurate data gets on TV before use is halted by News Election Service?
Yeah, go ahead.
Some machines just aren't to be believed.
Now switch over to the last paragraph.
When it gets down to those crucial calls...
The top of the...
CBS anchorman...
No, the top, I'm sorry, the top. The last paragraph up top. Where your hand is.
Yeah, CBS anchorman, Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
After the errors were pointed out to him, apologized for not questioning the...
Now, you think he don't even know what the fuck happened, but he think he has a right to apologize to America. There it is right there.
Oh, black is definitely the new white.
What?
That's why you got me here. It's like white folks cross-examining my black ass. Black is definitely the new.
I guess it was Du Bois said that in the issue for the 20th century would be race. Now that we're into the 21st century, do you think it's...
Of course. Race is, nothing's changed but the weather. It used to be overt, now it's covert. And Obama being in office, it makes it overt again. These white people can't help themselves. You see the things that are coming out of their mouths. They're saying stuff that's, white people are saying wild stuff. You listen to these white boys on these talk shows and these radio shows, they say whatever they feel. I mean, that one Dan Rather with his old tired butt, he's gonna say Obama can't sell watermelons? And Clinton's gonna say he would be bringing us his coffee? I mean, come on, white boy. It's too much for me. That's why I say what I feel. White folks got their freedom. I'm gonna be free, white, and 21 too. That's an old Southern expression. Free, white, and 21. That's what I want to be.
So let's jump into the whole issue. Like, you're always in our top, every month you're in our top 10 most viewed clips. The piece that you did for us in 2008. It's got over 140,000 views, and
I'm in the top 10?
You're always in the top 10.
You're kidding.
For us, yeah.
I'm stunned.
Well, people have a lot of comments.
I just think I'm stunned. Well, thank you. I'm in the top 10. Okay, I'll accept that.
Most viewed, most commented.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they were 10 little Indians. Remember?
Top 5.
I hope I don't end up like that. Remember? One little two. Remember that? It was 10, and 8 but 2 now. So go ahead.
Wait a minute. I mean, you certainly did it tonight in your act, but a lot of people, you know, you're split. It's like you have a 5-star rating across the board, and half the people use the message, the comments, to talk about how racist you are.
That I'm racist? Well, that's very funny. I can't be racist by definition. Look that up in the white folks dictionary. How can I be racist? I've never told anyone where to live. I've never told anyone what kind of jobs to have. I've never kept anyone from going to a school, out of a restaurant, or drinking from a fountain. I've never lynched anybody. So how can I be racist? How can I be racist? By definition, I can't be racist.
Well, I think what's happening is...
How can the slave be the master? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, that's someone that's telling you this or making that statement, whether they're black or white, they have to be totally insane. I can't be, by definition. Look up the definition of racism.
Well, I think what's happening in the world is a lot of younger people feel like they have no attachment to the past of America, and they want to make that clear in their own different ways.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm just saying that to you. But if I am racist, if I go along with that, then I learn from the best. I was taught by the best, if that's true. But I don't think that's true. I don't think I can be.
Why do you think?
That's like telling a cow that they're the owner of the cows. Cows don't own people. People own cows. So it doesn't make sense to me. For me, it doesn't compute.
We deal with similar issues just by having the name Real Black. Early on, I did a piece on my grandmother, and they said, you know, this is even more racist. Why, if I made a show called Real White, I'd be called racist. A lot of people.
If you said real white, you'd be called racist. That doesn't make sense. That's because things are real white. I'd say you would be in earnest. Just have them read the book. I'm tired of rebuttaling. Just read the damn book. Black is the New White. Buy it, steal it, do what you have to do, but get it.
Hello, Steven, my boy. Yeah. Hello, my ass. Who this nigga up on that name? Oh, Steven, you have nails for breakfast. What's the matter? Why you so ornery? You miss me, huh? Oh, yes, sir. I miss you like a hog miss flop, like a baby miss mammy titty. I miss you like I misses a rock in my shoe. Now, I ask you, who this nigga on that name?
It's Snowball. Wanna know my name or the name of my horse? You ask me.
That's who the hell you calling Snowball, horse boy? I'll snatch your black ass off that nag down here in the mud so fast make your head.
Steven. Let's keep it funny. Django here is a freeman.
This nigga here?
That nigga there. Let me at least introduce the two of you. Django, this is another cheeky black bugger like yourself, Steven. Steven, this here's Django. You two ought to hate each other.
Calvin, just who the hell is this nigga you feels the need to entertain?
Django and his friend in gray here, Dr. Schultz, are customers. And they are our guests, Steven. And you old decrepit bastard ought to show them every hospitality. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Him I understand, but I don't know why I got to take lip off this nigga.
No, I have to know why. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Well, good. Let's spend the night. Go up in the guest bedroom and get too ready.
He gonna stay in the big house?
Steven, he's a slaver. It's different.
In the big house?
Well, you got a problem with that?
Oh, no, I ain't got no problem with it. If you ain't got no problem with burning the bed, the sheets, the pillowcases, everything else when this black-ass motherfucker's
Now, that is my problem. They are mine to burn. Now, your problem right now is making a good impression. And I want you to start solving that problem right now and get them goddamn rooms ready.
Yes, sir, Mr. Candy.
Go on now.
Can't believe you brought a nigga to stay in the big house. Your daddy rolling over in this goddamn grave right now.
Yeah.
Nigga in the
It's getting worse and worse.
Shit is that.
Radio.